Hey guys, good morning. You are taking your World War II test. Good luck. Number 1, in December of 1941, President Franklin D. Roosevelt announced the United States had declared war on Japan. The event that led to this decision was Japan's A. Use of concentration camps, B. Invasion of Poland, C. Attack on Russia, or D. Bombing of Pearl Harbor. Number 2. From 1939 to 1945, Hitler and the Nazis tried to get rid of all Jewish people. They forced Jews to live in concentration camps and killed about 6 million people. This event in history is called the A. Nationalism, B. Roaring Twenties, C. Holocaust, or D. Liberation. Number 3. This picture shows an image of U.S. soldiers raising the American flag on A. Nagasaki, B. Iwo Jima, C. Hiroshima, or D. Pearl Harbor. Number 4. Which of the following best explains why President Harry S. Truman decided to drop the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki at the end of World War II? A. He wanted to be a good president. B. He wanted the war to last longer. C. He wanted Germany to surrender. D. He wanted to save American lives. Number 5. Victory in Europe, VE Day, came after A. Truman dropped the bomb. B. Japan surrendered. C. Germany surrendered. Or D. Truman became president. 6. Which of the following World War II leaders was the President of the United States when the Japanese surrendered in August of 1945? A. Harry Truman, B. Franklin Roosevelt, C. Joseph Stalin, or D. Winston Churchill. Number 7. This poster was meant to encourage women to come into the workforce. Which of the following best explains why? A. The women's right movement convinced businesses they should hire women. B. The Great Depression caused both men and women to have to work. C. The Industrial Revolution created jobs only women were qualified to do. D. Most men were fighting in World War II, so women took their place working in the factories. Number 8. VJ Day was an important event in World War II. It was the day that A. Germany invaded Poland, B. Allied armies landed in France, C. Japan surrendered to the U.S., or D. The German army surrendered. Number 9. On D-Day, June 6, 1944, Allied forces A. fought the Nazi troops at Stalingrad, B. stormed the beaches of Normandy, C. sent thousands of troops to Berlin, or D. took control of many Japanese islands. 10. Which of the following World War II leaders was the Prime Minister of Great Britain from May 1940 until July 1945? A. Winston Churchill, B. Benito Mussolini, C. Franklin D. Roosevelt, or D. Harry Truman. 11. The Tuskegee Airmen were a group of American pilots who flew many missions during World War II. They were good pilots who earned a great deal of recognition, but also unique in the military because they were A. African Americans, B. Native Americans, C. Women, D. Japanese Americans. 12. What was the largest sea invasion in history that ultimately pushed the Germans out of France? A. VJ Day, B. VE Day, C. D-Day, D. G-Day. 13. Which U.S. president ordered the first atomic bomb to be dropped on the Japanese city of Hiroshima? A. Roosevelt. B. Truman. C. Stalin. D. Hirohito. 14. Which of the following World War II leaders was the head of the Nazi Party, became Chancellor of Germany in 1933, and led the country until his death in 1945? A. Churchill. B. Hitler. C. Hirohito. D. Truman. 15. The Axis powers had early success in World War II. Which event that occurred on May 8, 1945 is considered a turning point in the war because Germany surrendered? A. D-Day. B. VE Day. C. VJ Day. D. Iwo Jima Day. 16. What was the name of the Jewish girl who wrote a diary about her time in hiding during the Holocaust? A. Eleanor Roosevelt. B. Anne Frank. C. Allie Frederick. D. Rosie the Ripper. 17. Who was the leader of Italy during World War II? A. Mussolini. B. Hitler. C. Truman. D. Roosevelt. 18. When World War II began, America did not want to be involved in this war. This was called A. Isolationism. B. Militarism. C. Nationalism. D. Dictatorship. 19. Which was not a cause of World War II? A. Treaty of Versailles. B. Hitler invaded Poland. C. Assassination of Mussolini. D. Hitler's rise to power. 20. Which country was not a part of the Axis powers? A. Germany. B. Italy. C. Japan. D. Great Britain. 21. When America joined World War II, they joined forces with the blank powers. A. Axis. B. Allied. C. Nazi. D. Nationalist. 22. Which U.S. president died in office during World War II? A. Truman. B. Roosevelt. C. Lincoln. D. Churchill. 23. What international organization was created to keep peace after World War II? A. Peace Corps. B. United Nations. C. American Union. D. Confederate countries. 24. During World War II, the government decided to limit the amount of food each person could buy in the United States. This was called A. Nationalism. B. Holocaust. C. Rationing. D. The draft. Albert Einstein and a group of scientists developed the A. Atomic bomb. B. Drafting system. C. Rationing stamps. D. Rosie the Riveter. 26. Who was the leader of Japan during World War II? A. Mussolini. B. Hirohito. C. Truman. D. Roosevelt. 27. The Paris Peace Conference created what document that punished Germany? A. European Union. B. Treaty of Versailles. C. 14 points. D. Calm Ordinance of 1917. 28. Which event would not be considered a cause of World War II? A. The Treaty of Versailles. B. Germany invaded Poland. C. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. D. Hitler's rise to power. 29. Which answer choice does not describe how the Treaty of Versailles led to the rise of Nazism? A. Germany lost land. B. Germany had to close all of its banks. C. Germany could not rebuild its army or make weapons. D. Germany had to pay reparations. 30. Which country was not considered a dictatorship? A. France. B. Germany. C. Japan. D. Italy. 31. Where did the U.S. drop an atomic bomb? A. Hiroshima. B. Iwo Jima. C. Nagasaki. D. Both A and C. 32. What event that occurred on December 16th, 1944, did the Germans lose to the Allies? A. Battle of Bunker Hill. B. Battle of Midway. C. Battle of Normandy. D. Battle of Bulge. 33. What event ended World War II? A. Japan surrendered to the U.S. and Allies. B. Japan drops the atomic bomb. C. Japan invades Germany. D. Japan launches an air attack. Hey guys, you are finished with the World War II test. Your response has been recorded and you can view your score. You may not submit another response. Make sure you read directions and listen to your teacher of what you need to complete next. Have an awesome day.